Hey everybody, it's Missy. Thanks for joining me again for another process video. This one's for the Hip Kit Club, and it's another layout using the 2015 May kits, and you can see my pictures there. I decided to go big and bright for this layout, and the pictures are bright as well. My daughter is at the pool, and she's wearing a bright rainbow-colored bathing suit, so I decided to go all mixed media for this layout, and I used a lot of the inks and paints and the watercolor pencils from previous hip kits from February until now, which is the May kits. So I'm going to use a lot of them to make lots of bright colors. And the base paper that I'm using there is the American Crafts Fine and Dandy collection. It's in the main kit, and it's just white with black polka dots on it. And I just tore some white cardstock in half there and then adhered it down with my ATG, and now I'm just taking some white gesso to cover the bulk of it because I'm going to be adding a lot of wet stuff, and so I want to make sure that it doesn't warp the paper or buckle it too much. So now that that's dry, I'm going to come in and spend a lot of time creating a messy background. And my little squirty bottle of water there, my daughter got a hold of it and dropped it, and so it doesn't squirt very well now, so I have to really work at it. So anyway, I took the Mermaid Lagoon, and that's from the current color kit, and doing my technique that I normally do. A lot of people are doing that nowadays, and where you just press it onto some plastic, add some water, and smush it down. And so I'm going to do this for a couple of different parts here. And that's the Dilutions. We got that a couple of kits ago. I think that was in the February kit. And it's a similar color to this Mermaid Lagoon, depending on how much you use. It's a slightly different tone, but it's in the same family. So I used a little bit of that. I'm going to come in now with some green. The paint dabber that you see there, it's Electric Lime. And I'm pairing that with the Cracked Pistachio from March and a little bit of the Dilutions from February. And they're all green and bluish colors, and when you mix them together you just get all kinds of different tones. And I had a lot of color on that piece, and so I just did a couple of drips and then took a clear piece of plastic to do the smushing, because I didn't, if I stuck that piece down, I think I would have way too much at that point, so I didn't want to do that right away. And so when I mixed all those together, I got more of a green color, and I really like how that's looking mixed together. Added a little bit more water, and then I'm just going to add some paintbrush splatters. And this was really fun to make. It was very therapeutic, I guess you could say. I like getting messy, and you really can't mess this up because it's meant to be messy and random. And so if you like watching messy process videos like this and you want to try it, try the packaging technique because it's fun. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. So now I'm going to come in with some yellow, and I'm going to use one of the stencils that's in the current May kit, the color kit. And you just dab the paint right over the stencil. It's very easy, and that's a flower there. And I'm just I just wanted pops of yellow since I've got blue and I've got green. I wanted to, stick with the rainbow color here. And that one smudged a little more than I wanted, but it winds up being okay. And now I just flip the stencil over and use it like a stamp. And I took my little scoopy tool. I don't really know what it's called, but it's like a little scoop on the end. And I tried to scrape some of the paint off and make it look like flowers, but you can't really tell. And I just decided that it didn't make that big of a difference. So I just left it alone. Now I'm coming back in with the lime green, and I'm going to use another stencil with these little chevron arrows on it. And at this point, I'm just kind of playing around and seeing what I may want where, and I just want color scattered all over the place. So I'm coming back in with the blue. I think that's the Calypso Teal. And it looks really dark when you first splatter it down, but when you take a little napkin to it, it dries that really bright blue. So I wanted to add in some pinks, and I'm coming in with a couple of the different Prima watercolor pencils, and I just colored them right onto the plastic, added some of the bubblegum pink Dilutions, mixed it together with some water, or maybe I didn't add water, and I don't know, I wanted to do it like through a stencil here, and as you can see, some of my triangles turned into little smudges. So I thought, you know what, I'll just fix that by smudging it down and covering it up. And so I like how that turned out. And I like the pink color. It's very bright and it goes with all the other colors, I think. But I decided to do it again because I really want some triangles. So I start over, and I hadn't tried the watercolor pencils on plastic yet, but they work really well. And that's another good way to mix color if you want different shades. So I mixed the red one, the orange one, and the pink one together. And I didn't use as much on my finger this time here because, you know, liquid is liquid and it's going to run if you use too much. So I just did a little bit of dabbing and it actually worked out. I like how that looked. I think it looks pretty neat. Like watercolor through a stencil. Just don't use that much water. And of course, I don't want to waste what I have left, so I smudge it down. Coming in with the lemon zest dilutions. I think that's from the March kit. You can check hipkitclub.net if you're interested in any of these inks or paints because they are all documented on the website of which color kit they came in. They're either from February, March, April, or May. So I love this part right here. I mixed some of the bubblegum pink and the lemon zest dilutions together because I wanted some orange. And it turned out really nice. And I didn't want to overdo it, so I just used my finger to kind of smudge a little bit down. And I really love the color. I think it was just the right amount of orange. Because you can't have rainbow without orange, right? And I sometimes get carried away doing this much mixed media. I really had to stop myself from just covering the whole thing because it's just fun. So I'm coming back in with some more pink splatters. And sometimes my little bottle there just does not want to splatter that well. So I have to really whack at it to get it done. So now I'm going to take my black Prima watercolor pencil and just do some tracing here through this stencil. And I don't know, I kind of wanted it to look like a stamp, but if I wanted to kind of smudge the edges, I could. And I do this with this chevron stencil, and then I come back in with the little triangle stencil and do a little bit of that. And I like the pops of black. And I go back in here and do a little bit of shading just to make it look like, you know, there's a little shadow there. But I didn't want it to be too obvious, just more of a, you know, fun, another little element of the layers of the colors and the shapes there. I did do some stitching in some black. And now I'm going to come in and finally get my pictures laid down. I do lay them on top of a piece of vellum. And I do come in with this 6x6 piece from Chickanity, and it's the wood grain paper. And I wasn't too sure how it was going to look at first, but I like the result once I get it the right size, because I have to kind of tear at it a couple times and give it another little trim. And that yellow card on the right that says happy, that is in the Project Life kit this month, and I trimmed it a little bit to make it the same size as my pictures, because it's going to play a part in my title. And I did not want to cover up a lot of that background. And I like the way it's peeking out from behind the paper. And it picks up all the colors in her bathing suit. So I'm going to add my pop dots and get everything arranged. And then I decide, you know, I think I need a little bit more pink over in the upper right corner. So I do add just a little bit more pink. But I forgot that the black Prima watercolor pencil would react with water. And so I did smudge a little bit of it. And you really don't want to mix black ink with anything bright because it's going to muddy it up. But it was just a little bit, and you can't even see because it's covered up. So I'm going to pull in this tag from the Pink Paisley Citrus Bliss line and that black and white cursive print Project Life card, and I'm going to use those as layers underneath the picture. I wanted to, you know, just some little hints of black and white since the background has the black dots on it. And now I'm going to come in with 2 different colors of thread, and you're not going to be able to even tell the difference of the colors from here. But I just wanted to try to, you know, put a darker blue and a teal mixed together. And in person you can see the color differences a little bit better. And I'm going to do the same thing down here at the bottom with pink and orange. Just going to mix the 2 threads together and do some messy tangles there. I don't know even how I got started on this thread. I've seen several other people add thread to their layouts, and it's just a fun way to add texture. And if you like the messy look, it's a fun way to make it look like some random thing just sort of fell on your page, and it just kind of adds to the messy chaos. And it adds color. It's a very easy way to add some color. Alright, so now I'm going to work on my title, and of course it's going to have the word happy in it a couple of times. And my first thought was just happy, happy girl, because she was having a great time playing with the water hose there. And for a pop of blue, I'm going to add in some of these Pebbles letters, and they didn't really want to stick very well on top of that Project Life card, so I just kind of make a little word strip there, and I wind up moving it. But I like the blue. That's an Evolicious wood veneer, or Evolicious, however you want to say that. I think it's Evolicious. Color it with the yellow paint dabber, and I hid it for now. I think it's drying, but it does come back. I'm going to go back in and add some more stamping. Well, not some more. I haven't stamped yet. Some stamping. And I haven't used that hexagon stamp yet from the Chickanitty stamp set. That's in the Project Life kit this month. So I just kind of do some stamping off where you stamp it once and then you just kind of keep stamping until it gets lighter and lighter. And it just creates this faded look. And I do that a couple of times with those arrows and with the sentiments. I do a couple of sentiments. I think that one's "You Make Me Happy." And then that one says "Today Was Perfect." That little acetate piece is from Pink Paisley. And I've been wanting to use it, but I never really had a spot for it. And so I make it work right there. So I'm trying to add in another happy with those rainbow colors, because I can't have a rainbow layout and not use those rainbow thickers. So I changed my mind. And I forgot that I had not pressed record, and so you totally missed me redoing my title. But now it says Happy Happy Hose Time, because she's playing with the hose. And I thought, you know, that's going to be the title. Happy Hose Time, because that's what she was doing. Yeah, remember, cover your pictures or else you'll have ink splattered all over them if you're like me. So I've learned my lesson the last time I splattered ink on my face. Alright, so I just added in some black color shine there, and I attached the Life is Sweet wood veneer. I'm adding in my journaling, and I think that's going to wrap it up. The June kits should be shipping out soon. I think this is probably my final layout with the May kits. I'm going to add in my date stamp, and that's going to be it. So there's the final layout. It's bright, it's fun. I really had a good time getting messy. My hands were stained from all those dilutions. But I like them that way, so it's all good. Here come the close-ups. If you're interested in getting your hands on some of these hip kits, visit thehipkitclub.net. There's so much to choose from, so many bright colors and fun things to play with. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.